But ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the lovely Amy McManus.
Thank you. So, good morning everyone. Thank you so much to Lucy for inviting me here. It is an absolute pleasure to be in this room with every single one of you. My name is Amy McManus. I am the founder and managing director of AM Marketing, an award-winning digital marketing agency based in Kent in the UK. But we work with brands all over the world. And as you can see, I've got a few nice awards under my belt. I'm a Google Partner Specialist, I'm a YouTube trainer. My agency was actually placed in the top 30 Google partners within the UK. So we were placed in the top 30, picked out 30,000 agencies in the UK. So we're doing all right. I'm a member of the Royal Commonwealth Society, the Guild of Entrepreneurs. I've done TED Talks, I've won Amazon Awards. I was a finalist for the Women of the Future Awards. But let's get real, right? That's what you see on Instagram. That's what you go onto social media and you look at AM Marketing, you look at me and you think, oh, she's award winning, she's done all this, she's done all that. That doesn't show the story of how I got to this point right here. And it doesn't, you know what I mean? When you go on Instagram, you think, oh, they've got it together. They know what they're doing. It's a lie. It's a complete and utter lie. And normally when I'm speaking, I'm talking about YouTube, I'm talking about digital marketing, like, oh, let's do this and this and that and that. But today, we're going to do real talk. And I was speaking with Lucy Hall a couple of months ago, and I was describing to her how I got to this position, how I got to be managing director of AM Marketing. And she said, oh, right, okay, shit, you've got to come and tell that story. And so today is going to be, as it was advertised, very frank. It's going to be very, very real. But I'm going to start the conversation and start actually talking about, you know what? Being a woman in business and being a woman in digital is bloody hard. And only through sharing those stories with each other and being truly honest, as loads of other speakers have already said this morning, are we going to start changing the industry and getting more women into digital. So, if I could please be so honoured to have every single woman in this room that works in digital stand up with me. Thank you for standing up. Thank you for standing up so freely, because sometimes people are a little bit, oh, should I stand up? And can I just start with a massive round of applause? I would like you all to continue. Oh, you deserve a better round of applause than that. Because you are all absolutely bloody amazing. You can sit down. You are part of the 21%. Out of the digital industry, only 21% is female. And it used to be more. It used to be 25, then it went down to 23, and now it's 21. And you all make up part of that 21%, so you should be extremely proud of yourselves and extremely proud of showing your nieces, your daughters, other young women, here I am working in digital and you can do the same. And that's what you're doing. And for me, it was a case of, I was always really going to work in a male-dominated industry. My mother works in STEM. She's a biologist. She's head of science department. So as a child, I remember going to visit her in her lab. So for me, a woman in STEM wasn't a weird thing. I had a father who couldn't care less if I had a vagina or not. He said, yeah, I could do just as whatever I wanted. I could do the same as any other boy. And I had a school that when I turned 13, put me into the cadet force and handed me a rifle. So they weren't really bothered about me being a girl either. So it was definite from the start that I was always going to go probably into a male-dominated industry. I didn't see the difference. And my first job was very, very supportive. I had a female boss. I worked with a lot of other female managers, and it was an amazing environment. But then I took my first marketing job. And I was headhunted and I joined this agency. It was going to be amazing. And I had quite an important role. I was 21 years old at this time, but I was controlling the retail marketing for 700 stores within the UK and Ireland. So it was a big job. But within my first 3 days, my boss referred to me as some bird at the agency. Who's ever been called some bird before? Yeah, right, yes, right up there. Which made me think, okay, this is weird. I've never experienced this before. I've been very lucky and perhaps been a bit naive. That suddenly I'm being referred to in some derogatory manner because of my gender. And this was to the client, some bird at the agency. When I was introduced to this agency on my first day, I was the only woman there. All the other men, they were all tech, IT, digital, only women, apart from the other woman in the agency who was the PA. And from the back, just as I was being introduced on my first day, I heard someone say, "Oh great, we've got someone else to make the tea." Thank you. That is what I said, internally of course. So I'm there thinking, oh, I'm going to start this amazing job. I cannot wait. I'm so enthusiastic. And that's the first introduction. Okay, now I'm seen as nothing else than a tea maker rather than a retail promotions manager, a digital woman. So I went the other way. I put my head down. I worked incredibly hard, stupid hard. I thought, lived and breathed, ate work. I think one month in November, and within my 2 years at that agency, I had 3 days at home because I was on the road all the time. I would get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, I would take a plane, I would go and see a client in the Netherlands, I would take a plane back, get home at God knows what hour, then be back in the morning in the office at 8 AM in the morning. It was silly, and I'd gone the other way because of that, because of those comments, and because of thinking, oh, I've got to prove myself. I proved myself too hard, and it affected my mental health. I had anxiety, I had depression, I couldn't sleep, and I started to think, is my health really worth it? Is it worth the money? Is it worth the work? Is it worth proving my point that I can do this job, but really I'm actually having a hindrance on my health? And it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it at all. But you're going to like it because it ends in a positive. I quit. 2 years later, I realised I'm not sleeping. This isn't good for my health. My amazing husband at the back, Brad Wave, said, it doesn't matter that you don't have a job to go to. I'm going to support you. You need to quit because you need to do this for your health. So I did. No job to go to. I then discovered that that they were sending emails from my account pretending that I still worked there. You see, at my time at the agency, I had started as some bird at the agency. I had started as another lady to make the tea, but I added 10 million in turnover within 12 months. I brought on Harrods as a client. I brought on Amazon as a client. I controlled the retail promotions for 700 stores within the UK and Ireland. I brought on the Netherlands as well. And I was the youngest person at the time, 21 years old, to win Holland & Barrett's Product of the Year award. So from some bird at the agency, I was now, oh, please stay here. Please still work for us. And Holland & Barrett themselves came back to me and said, do you still work? Do you still work there? I said, no. Oh, well, we're still getting your emails. But the point of that part of my life really showed me that no matter how much you want to prove a point, no matter how much you think that people make you think you can't do it because you're a woman, don't go the other side. Don't work too hard. Consider your health. Take that time for you. And it's made me realise in my life how important it is to take that time, take those pauses, sit down, meditate, and actually work on yourself, because then you can give your best self to your work. So I started looking for another job, and I went freelance, and I had this amazing opportunity to work for a very, very large company. We're talking 1,000 people within the UK and abroad. And I started doing the same thing. I hadn't learned any lessons. I had an amazing supportive boss who was male, but I was a workaholic. Kept on working super, super hard, no days at home, really, really long hours. And unfortunately, at the time, although I didn't know it, I was actually pregnant. And at 7 weeks, I miscarried. And I didn't have time, I didn't leave time to grieve, I didn't leave time to even consider the health impact on myself. I took 3 days off, just 3 days, and I was back at my desk. And women in the room, and I know there's going to be a load of you because it happens to so many, you feel like a failure. You feel, well, I felt like if I can't do this one thing that I'm meant to do as a woman, you know, how am I going to do my job? How am I going to, what's my purpose? And I thought, okay, I'll work. That's a really bad idea. I'll work, I'll sit down. So I'm sat there 3 days afterwards and I see a letter on my desk. I open the letter and it's from the head of HR of the company. And it says, due to your miscarriage, it has been brought into question whether you are fit to do your role. And we have made a doctor's appointment for you, which you are required to attend to assess whether you are fit enough to do your role. I thought, oh, okay. This is a little thing I didn't expect. I attended the doctor's appointment. Obviously it was fine. The doctor was as shocked as I was. But being in that position where I'm already feeling like a failure, and then I think, oh, well, it's all right, I know I can do my job, and then that gets brought into question as well. I'm starting to get an inkling here that maybe working for another company isn't for me. That maybe I should be the one controlling the rules here. I should be the one that is looking after people. I should be the one that isn't told when I can work, what I should work, what I should have to do. And the head of HR was actually a woman, which made it even worse. But it was all positive, because after that I thought, I didn't blame that head of HR. I just thought that the company was too large to handle. In those sort of situations, it's really hard to be able to say you're an individual case and treat each person on an individual case. With 1,000 staff, all you can really go on is protocol. That was the protocol for that in that situation. It was horrendous, but that was just the follow through. So I thought to myself, okay, I'll find a nice little company, a nice small, medium-sized company where I can really get to grips. Everyone knows everyone by name. It's all really nice and it's really intimate. And I found this amazing startup, female CEO. She was incredible, and I was there to do the marketing for startups. So a startup would come, and it was government funded, and they would say, okay, we're going to do the marketing for you, we're going to make your business really great. I handed my notice in within 28 hours. You are not going to believe this. Okay, this is why I say, am I in EastEnders? Because when I was telling Lucy this, she's like, this is like the story of a soap. On my first day, I found out that several people in the company hadn't been paid for a couple of months. I then found out that other people, I was the only female in the company apart from the CEO, it's all other male. I then found out that the CEO was paying some people in other ways. Yeah, she must have been good. I definitely would have taken the money. Then I started digging. I found invoice numbers didn't match up. So not all the invoices were going into the company bank account, that's for sure. And I started talking to a lot of the clients. A lot of the clients were paid, but hadn't had the work completed. When questioning the CEO, I then received a picture of a cheque back, a really large cheque, £300,000. She says, this is going in the bank account today. I went, oh, okay, that's really good. She said, yes, it's from Inland Revenue. I went, oh, Inland Revenue hasn't existed since 2005. That was really nice of them to give you that 300 grand. And she was in the process of attempting to forge a cheque for £300,000. Of course, now it's all HMRC, and I'm pretty sure that they don't use Times New Roman as a font. I thought, oh God, what am I doing? 28 hours, jobless again. Okay. But I felt really bad for the the small businesses that had been duped. I felt really bad that they had come to this company thinking, oh God, we're going to get marketing, we're going to grow our businesses, it's going to be really positive. So I said, look, I haven't got a job at the moment, I've got nowhere to go, I'm not working for this company anymore, I'll do it for you. I'll do your marketing for you, and then I'll do that while I'm searching for other work. But then it grew, then the referrals came in, then more referrals came in, then I started pitching for other work, and a couple of months down the line, I had business cards and AM marketing was formed. So I kind of own that, I kind of owe that crazy cow everything, really. Oh, just as a side note, she's now committed. It turned out that she was indeed a sociopath. Not my boss is a sociopath. She genuinely was 100%. So you know the kind that goes out and commits murders, that kind. So phew. So at this point, I have a business. I have AM marketing. It's going really well. I never ever considered myself an entrepreneur, never ever considered myself a digital marketing. And the story of how I got there, I'm thinking, gosh, that's a bit intense, but I'm so happy for every single stage of this process. I wouldn't change any of it, because every single thing, no matter how awful, no matter how many times you think a door is closing, how many times you've hit rock bottom, there is a clear path to what you're meant to do and the doors that are opening for you in the process. But then this old chestnut comes in, doesn't it? There's a lot of hands up. How many people have imposter syndrome or have suffered with imposter syndrome? Yeah. It's a lot of hands. And I think particularly for women, I've never met a woman in business who hasn't had imposter syndrome in some shape or form. And it was a really big one for me, particularly when I was working solo at the beginning. There's that isolation, isn't there? It's just you and your laptop and your Wi-Fi connection, a digital woman there thinking, what am I doing? And that little horrible voice in the back of your head starts to creep in, starts to say, oh, you're not meant to be here, you know? Oh, it's all going to fail. What are you doing? Or your mother comes and says, you should get a proper job. Classic one. But I found great solace in networking. I found great solace in networking groups, and also particularly female networking groups, talking to other people and realising that this is not something, while you're sat there by yourself, isolated, working on your laptop, it's something that we all go through. It's something that we all feel. And although digital has opened up so many different amazing opportunities, that's one that is really awful about it, that you do sometimes feel isolated, you just want to talk to someone. My husband would come home and I go, blah, you're like, calm down. You haven't spoken to anyone all day, have you? No. So one thing I would like to do, and one thing that another speaker did at an event for me that really, really showed me, no, I'm meant to be here, everyone's in the same boat. If you could just turn to the person next to you and just share a moment in your business or in your work life where you have felt that you are not good enough, or you have tell them your imposter syndrome story, just very, very quickly, and just share those moments with each other. minute. Oh, trying to stop a room full of women talking. I should not have done this bit. Go. Thank you, ladies. Yeah. Someone whistle. Thank you. Would anyone like to share their quick story to the group? Shout out.
My name's Kat. I'm a digital agency, Digital Marketing Made Easy. I've recently released my first book about digital marketing, and I used to write a book, even though I've been in digital marketing for 10, 12 years. But I overcame it all, and it's an Amazon bestseller.
Amazing, well done. That's amazing. So, can I just quickly ask, did anyone in this room judge the other person for their story? No. Of course you didn't. Did anyone think less of the person next to you for their story? Do you all now feel a little bit better about yourselves? Do you all now think? Because the thing is we get caught up in this fear that if we tell the truth, if we don't show absolute perfection on Instagram, on social media, if we don't keep it all together, that's going to affect our businesses, that's going to affect our connections, that's going to affect whether someone comes to us. And you know what? If the sort of person where that story would affect them giving you business, that's not the sort of person you want to work with. And in sharing these stories and getting on the same level playing field and actually thinking, okay, I'm gonna be real here. This is real talk. This is real frank talk. People are just gonna go, oh God, me too. Thank goodness. It's gonna make us feel so much better about the industry we work in, so much better about our roles, and really lift us. And that's what you should be doing as digital women, with only 21% of the industry female. Lifting each other, inspiring others, and making sure that we start to tip those numbers. So finally, please, if you honour me, all standing together. And I would like you to do your best Wonder Woman pose. Men too. Come on, gents, I'm looking. Come on, ladies, hands on hips. Feet abreast, as they say. Chest out high. Welcome to your power pose. And this is one thing that I've learned in the number of years, is that actually just standing in this position has a psychological effect, a positive psychological effect on you, makes you feel powerful, makes you feel like you can do it. So everyone at the same time, if you would please shout, I am an amazing digital woman. 1, 2, 3.
I am an amazing digital woman.
I deserve to be here. 1, 2, 3.
I deserve to be here.
Amazing. Bit louder. I deserve to be here.
I deserve to be here.
I'm an amazing woman.
I'm an amazing woman.
Yeah, you are. And finally, I kick ass. Yes, thank you, women. Thank you. Amazing. Ooh, thanks for the clap. Yeah. So So whenever you are in a place where you think, am I good enough? Am I meant to be here? Why am I working in digital? Just remember that you are absolutely incredible. You 100% deserve to be here. This is a quote I kind of live my life by, that all progress takes place outside of the comfort zone. I'm a great believer in that, and I hope that my story of how I got here kind of shows that in being thrown into the deep end and really finding the doors that open when so many others seem closed really can show you the path that you are meant to be on. And if you ever do feel bad, you ever feel, oh, I'm not meant to be, just stand like Wonder Woman and shout a few of those phrases that we have said today. It's an absolute honour to be here with you today, to be amongst so many amazing digital women, and I look forward to seeing you all later in the break and meeting more of you and hearing more about your stories. Thank you.